right? So proteins get broken down into amino acids, the building blocks of life. Fats get broken down into essential fatty acids, and carbohydrates get broken down into sugars. So when you eat a bowl of oatmeal, you raise your glucose, your blood sugar, the same as if you drank a big glass of Coke. Hello! I want to know, and I'm going to test your knowledge of nutrition. All right, so here's my question today, and here's what I want to talk to you about today. Day 2, lesson 2. What are the 3 macronutrients? What are the 3 groups of food? Anybody? Post it in the comments below. Wherever you're watching this, whether you're watching this on Facebook or my YouTube channel, what are the three macronutrients? I'm Dr. CJ Bankert with Pura Vida Wellness, and I am here to share with you and excite you and motivate you to live your purest, healthiest life in body, mind, heart, and spirit. I have found that getting your body healthy first allows you to carry over and to create changes in your mind, emotions, heart, and spirit. So, body first. What are the 12 core concepts to good health? The first concept that we're discussing this week and in this training is pure food. So yesterday we talked about the 2 different types of food. And I talked about dead food versus live food. So if you missed that video, go back and watch lesson number 1 of our first concept on pure food. Today we're going to talk about the 3 groups of food and how they're different and what we're being told by the government to eat. So the 3 groups of food, you got it: proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, right? And what have we been taught for years? We've been taught that fat makes you fat, and fat makes you fat, but the truth of the matter is it's the quality of the fat, not fat itself. And what really makes you fat is sugar and carbohydrates. That's what makes you fat. The number 1 top fat storage hormone in the body is insulin. And insulin is secreted by your pancreas when you eat sugar or carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is like oatmeal or brown rice or a yam. And you might think, well, oatmeal is great. It's healthy, right? Heart healthy food, oatmeal. It's all carbohydrates. When you eat a bowl of oatmeal in the morning for breakfast, it breaks down into its small little components, which are sugars, right? So proteins get broken down into amino acids, the building blocks of life. Fats get broken down into essential fatty acids, and carbohydrates get broken down into sugars. So when you eat a bowl of oatmeal, you raise your glucose, your blood sugar, the same as if you drank a big glass of Coke. Did you know that? Do you know that there's still diabetics out there that think oatmeal is healthy? That they're eating a good food? Anything that's made of carbohydrates, for the most part, and I'll talk about that in a second, breaks down into sugar, increases your glucose levels, and your body releases insulin to bring those sugars into the cell so they're not floating around in your blood. And when the body releases insulin, insulin is the top fat storage hormone, the top aging hormone, and the top inflammatory hormone. So why am I talking today about proteins, carbs and fats, because back in the 1980s, the U.S. government lied to us, and they told us that the best thing to eat, this is the USDA food pyramid. Let's see if I can get this straight. There we go. That the thing that we should be eating the most of is bread, cereal, rice, and pasta. And then we're supposed to have just a little bit of fruit and a little bit of veggies and even less meat and a little bit of dairy. And the smallest amount of what we should be eating is fats and sugar. That pyramid made us fat. The United States obesity rates and chronic illness and diabetes and heart disease skyrocketed after 1980 when this food pyramid came out. If you flip this puppy on its head, then that's probably a little bit more accurate. So this is how we really should be eating. This is Dr. Mercola's food pyramid for optimal health. And look what we should be eating the most of. What's on the bottom there? Fats and veggies. A little bit of protein, a teeny tiny bit of fruit, and hardly any grains and sugars. So proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Proteins build muscle. Proteins build new cells. So if we're following the old pyramid, then we're getting overweight, we're gaining weight. See, when you eat mostly healthy fats and vegetables, you turn on fat burning instead of sugar burning. So 88% of Americans are insulin resistant because of this old pyramid. This old pyramid has just filled our body with carbohydrates and sugars and caused the pancreas to release more and more insulin, and the cells have finally just worn out and they're insulin resistant, and people start gaining weight. They develop metabolic syndrome, they develop weight loss resistance, and we now know, this is a great book for you guys to get. This is Why We Get Sick by Dr. Benjamin Bickman. And through his research, he has discovered that 88% of Americans are insulin resistant, and that most illnesses, if not all illnesses, begin with insulin resistance because of this food pyramid, because of what the government is still telling us to eat. They're still telling us to eat this because, unfortunately, the United States is free enterprise. We're based on corporations, profit, and greed. And the companies that are making snacks and breads and pastas and making all kinds of money on dead, processed, man-made food, which is what I talked about yesterday, they want you to eat those foods. So unfortunately, the governmental recommendations, for the most part, most politicians and government boards are swayed and bought and paid for by big food companies and big pharma companies. So if you think fat makes you fat and you've been following this pyramid and you're wondering why you're struggling with your health, it's because we've been lied to. This is not true. The truth of the matter is we want to turn you from a sugar burner, someone who's insulin resistant, into a fat burner. And when you become a fat burner by eating vegetables and healthy fats like coconut oil and avocados and macadamia nuts, and you're eating carbohydrates, the vegetables, the only carbohydrates that you should be eating for the most part is low carb, high fiber vegetables like asparagus and zucchini and radishes. So corn is not really a vegetable. Potato is not really a vegetable. Isn't it so interesting when we have proteins, fats, and carbohydrates? So there are essential amino acids that come from proteins. Essential means we have to have them to live. There are essential amino acids, that we have to live. We have to get those in from our diet. Essential amino acid means our body doesn't make it on its own. We have to get that from the diet. We also have essential fats. We have essential fatty acids that we need to be healthy. We need those essential fatty acids to live, and we have to get them from our diet. Our body does not make essential fatty acids. You know what's not essential? Carbohydrates. There are no essential carbohydrates. And remember, carbohydrates break down into sugar. So is fruit good? We've been taught that fruit's really healthy. Fruit is still sugar. Is eating a piece of fruit better than eating a candy bar? Yes, because when you eat the fruit, it has all these other phytonutrients in it, phytochemicals, all these amazing polyphenols, and fiber, so that when you eat fruit, the sugar doesn't go straight into your bloodstream because the fiber slows down the digestion of the sugar. But when you eat just a chocolate bar or a glass of Coke, that sugar is going to go straight into your system. But should you be eating a lot of fruit? No. Should you be drinking orange juice? No. Because the juice has been removed from the fiber, it's been removed from all of those nutrients, and it goes straight into your bloodstream. So drinking a glass of orange juice is really no different to the body as far as health and releasing insulin and creating aging and inflammation than drinking a glass of Coke. So today we talked about protein, carbs, and fats. You get proteins from some vegetables. You can get proteins from animal sources. In a couple of days, I'm going to go into detail about sustainable protein sources. But for today, I just wanted to open up with the discussion of the 3 separate macronutrients, what they are, how our body uses them, that fats don't make you fat. Healthy fats are good for you. What's not good for you are man-made fats, like get these out of your house right away. So if you remember one thing from this training is get canola oil out of your house. Any man-made oil from vegetables is unstable, goes rancid, and wreaks havoc in your body and inflames the cell membrane and creates disease, inflammation. So fat doesn't create heart disease. What creates heart disease are sugars and grains and hydrogenated fats. Healthy fats like coconut oil, avocados, raw nuts and seeds, olive oil, those actually create healthy cell membranes. Remember these beautiful little cells? These cells are coated in a lipid bilayer, a double layer of fats and cholesterol. So when you eat French fries from McDonald's that are made with hydrogenated fats, they get stuck in your cellular membrane and they create insulin resistance and unhealthy dehydrated cells. When you eat coconut oil and olive oil and natural made fats, then your cell membrane is healthy, and then the blood sugar can get into the cell easily. So protein, carbohydrates, and fats, essential versus non-essential. What are you eating? Are you following this pyramid? Are you eating mostly healthy fats and vegetables? And then eating healthy proteins, just a little bit of fruit, and the very smallest amount of what you should be eating are grains and sugar. So bread, corn, pasta, those all break down into sugars. So we're covering the first core concept of my 12 core concepts this week, started on Wednesday. So next Wednesday we'll start with the second core concept. This week is all about pure food, what that means, how that leads to a healthy life. 7 years ago, I found out that until I got my body cleaned and until I learned how to teach my cells how to burn fat for fuel instead of sugar, I wasn't able to live that pure, healthy, best life because my thinking and my mind and my emotions were tainted because my body was stuck in sugar burning and I had no energy and I was depressed. So if you want to start feeling better, start following the pyramid based on health and wellness and nutrition, and stop following the pyramid that the government's telling us to eat, which has created more problems in the history of mankind than any other recommendation. So that's it for today. Thank you for your attention. Comment below what you learned. What was the most surprising thing that you learned today? Where are you at in your health journey? How can I support you? Tomorrow we'll continue with the pure food concept, and tomorrow I'm going to go into detail regarding micronutrients. All right, so this is Dr. C.J. Benkert with Pura Vida Wellness, motivating you, encouraging you, inspiring you, and leading you to live your purest, healthiest life in body first, then mind, heart, and spirit follows, so that you can be who you're supposed to be, so you can experience joy, so that you can just have an amazing life. You can have an amazing life. You have control over your health. You have an amazing healing power inside of you that I want to teach you how to turn on that healing power. All right, peace out. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. And I can't wait to see you all again tomorrow as we continue our discussion of the first core concept to living your purest life, pure food. Concept number 1, pure food.